Hey, good Wednesday morning. I am meteorologist Ben Peine here. It's Ben at 10 on Facebook, on my page, on Meteorologist Ben Peine, and also on Extol Weather. We'll have the playback there, Extol Media on Facebook. So thanks for joining us on what is a wonderful Wednesday morning out there. It's going to be nice and warm. If you like sunshine, if you like warm temperatures, almost an early summer-like feel this afternoon, then you're going to love the weather out there for today. And we're going to see temperatures running about 10 degrees above normal. Now this morning, put on the sweatshirt because we had temperatures in the 50s. I'm going to have to shed that later on today as we head up to around 82 degrees. So just phenomenal weather out there for today. Now tomorrow we're going to introduce a small chance for a couple of pop-up showers and thunderstorms. It'll stay very warm, near 80 degrees for Thursday. And then Friday is going to be our highest chance of more widespread showers and thunderstorms across the area. So we'll dig into that as we always do, kind of the middle portion of our show here, and take a look at the weather model data there for Friday especially. Good news for the weekend. It looks like most of that rain is going to be sliding off to our south. And we'll also kind of take a peek into and through Derby week, and we'll do our best, basically an educated guess for the weather for Thurby, Oaks, and Derby at this point in time. So we're going to be taking a look at all this. Thanks for coming in, posting a comment, suggestion. We love the interaction here. We can pull up your comments at any point in time. I want to thank our partners as well, NWSB, Libs Paving Company, Lions Roofing, and Weddington Custom Homes. Brad the Builder. Stay tuned for some helpful segments from Brad Weddington. It looks like we'll be starting that next week. So love the partnerships, and of course if you would like to partner up your organization, your company, Ben at extolmagazine.com. You can contact me or Jason at extolmag.com as well. More contacts at extolmag.com/ or just go right to extolmag.com. Got you linked up there as well. So just taking a look here at the comments, and we have Gary and Janet Hutchins. Thanks for tuning in here. Good morning, guys. Some of the first comments popping up here just after 10 a.m. Beverly Hagist, longtime viewer. Appreciate your viewership there, Beverly. Watching there from Borden, Indiana. We've got Dorothy McDaniel from Marengo. Good morning, and it is a beautiful morning out there. Vicki Berger. We have a good morning from Iroquois Friends of Iroquois Park. Jay Case, thanks for popping in here this morning as well. And I want to bring up a loyal viewer so far as well here in New Albany. I got to meet one of our loyal viewers. This is Tim Cron, a New Albany firefighter, and his stepdaughter was matched up against my daughter's tennis team a couple evenings ago at Christian Academy, and it was a nice evening out there, and good to meet you out there on the tennis courts at Christian Academy there, Tim Cron. There he is. New Albany Fire is watching. There's the comments. So good to meet you there, Tim, here recently. We've got Stephen Bird. Good morning, neighbor. Good morning to you, Stephen. And we've got Diana Evans with a good morning, too. So we'll go ahead and get going with the forecast. If you've been watching, we like to start off with the forecast. Let me get Diana off there. We like to start off with the forecast. Do a little show and tell, some pictures, forecast, look at current conditions, radar satellite, dig into the weather models, and then usually it takes about a half hour, 45 minutes, and then we'll get back to a recap of the forecast here for you. And we've got Barry Taylor from Middletown and a huge weather supporter, Andre Goatley. Good morning to you, Andre. Thanks for tuning in here this morning on Ben at 10. So this was the sunset yesterday evening. I'll go ahead and bring that up full screen. It was great. I posted that to Indiana Skies, by the way. That's a group where you can share photos of clouds, sunsets just like this. Just search Indiana Skies, and you can find that group on Facebook. And we've got another good morning here from Angela Hordepperson. Good morning. Awesome day to enjoy. It is going to be really nice out there. Thinking about some sunglasses and sunscreen today. My forehead did get a little pink being outside up in Austin, Indiana, where we were live yesterday. This is this morning as I was walking out the door. Very, very nice sunrise. and what creates that beautiful sunrise. So we had the cirrus clouds way up high in the sky, and we had the sun's rays sneaking underneath the clouds, and we get that underglow. That's a good recipe for an awesome sunset. So if you are a photographer, if you see some high clouds, maybe some mid-level clouds, if it's kind of partly cloudy, that's kind of a good guess that we'll be able to get for maybe, it only lasts for like 5 to 10 minutes, where you can get that sun to sneak underneath that cloud layer as it's dropping below the horizon. The last bit of sun rays give us that underglow. So that's the way to do it. And that was a very nice sunset yesterday, an awesome sunrise this morning. We have James Roberts. Good morning. Loving the weather lately. Tell your kiddos I said hello. Will, for sure. James, thanks for tuning in here this morning. And looking ahead here, this was just a nice, pretty picture of some of the blooms there in the trails of Clifty Falls. I want to thank Robert Fisher for Xing that to me, tweeting that to me. I don't know the proper way to say that. Sending that to me on the X platform. Thank you, Robert Fisher, for sharing that one. Here is RIP our burning bush. So this was a sad one. So I came home yesterday. Someone had backed into our yard right over the top of this 11-year-old burning bush. It was one of the first bushes we planted in our yard when we built our house in Borden, Indiana. And we were just commenting, because these things were growing so slow, probably not good soil and not good watering, but it finally was getting up to almost like my head height. We were so proud of this bush. And then someone drove over it and then took it down the road, almost down to my neighbor's house. So I have some unkind words I'd like to say to whoever did that one, but RIP the burning bush. We have one left on one side of the driveway now. We have Linda Baker, great for a baseball game last night. Yeah, we were at Borden. Brownstown came to Borden. My son pitched the last couple of innings with a clean slate, so it was a good pitching game. Brownstown did beat us 4-1 as we couldn't string together those hits. All right, that's the recap of the Borden-Brownstown baseball game. Also, I got to break out the old FAA drone license yesterday with producer over here, owner-operator of Extol Media, Jason Applegate. We got to throw out the drones over the Austin parks. There's 4 different parks out there. They're, again, a city on the move. We were live out there yesterday if you're watching. That is the construction of a water pad area. They've got a pretty new kind of enclosed or open air gazebo area, playground, and then also the new pickleball courts there as well. So it was cool just to get outside. That's kind of where I got that sun yesterday, and this is another park on the other part of town. It's got the walking trails and just beautiful budding trees there as well. So good to get a little tour up there in Austin, Indiana yesterday. Looking here at Josh Mabe. Thanks. Good morning there from J-Town. And Josh, thanks for watching here this morning. Here is a look at that forecast for today. We're looking at a high of 82 degrees. I bumped that up a degree or two. Southeast wind at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. And again, just a reminder, if you're going to be out there for a little while, it's sunscreen time. It's going to be rather warm out there, about 10 degrees above normal for this time of the year. And Vicky says Salem beat Scottsburg 16-1 last night. We play Eastern tonight. Good luck to you guys. That is a little bit of a lopsided game there, Salem beating Scottsburg. Feel free to share your scores here. We can do recaps of softball, baseball, tennis, whatever you want to do. If you're proud of your kids or grandkids, go ahead and give them a shout out. Open space here to do that. So sunset today at 8:27. Before that, your play ball forecast, again, 82 degrees for that high temperature right after school, 78 at 6 p.m., 74 at 8 p.m., and very light breeze again, southeast wind at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. So just nice and warm out there. Great weather for any of the ball games this evening. Tonight's forecast, I would say mostly clear. There might just be some high clouds drifting over. Our sunrise at 6:54. and just mild out there. So we're down to low mid 50s last couple of mornings, and then around 60 for our low temperature for tonight. And that 7-day forecast, we've got a 30% chance of a shower popping up tomorrow afternoon, maybe a rumble of thunder, not expecting any severe weather with that, and still warm at 80 degrees. And on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, you can see the normal high is 72, normal low is 51, and then there's your sunrise and sunset. Noticing those earlier sunrises each morning, 6:55 is now our sunrise time, and the sunset at 8:27. I've got 76 going for our Friday afternoon high temperature and about a 90% chance of rain. I don't think it's a total washout. I think in the morning time there could be a period of some dry weather before the rain chances begin to ramp up in the afternoon and the evening time. We've got Laura Young here. Good morning. Have a great day. Love you, Mom. Thanks for watching here this morning. And Grandma, too. My 98-year-old grandma. Saturday, 72 degrees. The good news here for the weekend, it does look like we're going to have that rain moving out probably before sunrise. So that'll leave our weekend dry. I think we'll have some lingering clouds Saturday, but it will be comfortable. I know I've seen a lot of comments where you guys are getting out in the yard, having to mow. The grass is growing very fast right now. And with Friday's rain, maybe around a ½ inch to an inch of rainfall, everything's going to be growing quickly. The weeds and the grass competing with each other right now if you haven't put out the weed and feed. 52 Saturday night, 74 on Sunday, with expecting more sunshine on Sunday. Both look great looking days. Now, early next week looks mainly dry as we head into Derby week, and warm as well. Got 82 Monday, 84 on Tuesday. I just slapped on a little 20% chance of maybe an isolated shower Monday, but I think it's going to be mostly dry. The GFS and the Euro and the Canadian weather model were printing out just a very small chance there on Monday. Tuesday looking dry, and then Wednesday, that would be, 502 day out at Churchill Downs. I think we might be heading out there that day. 76 and a chance for some showers. The weather pattern is starting to look a little unsettled around 502 day Wednesday, Thurby, and for Oaks on Friday. And it might just be a few periods of rain. I don't think it's kind of washout weather. It should stay mild as well in the 70s. And then so far, all the models are dry for Derby Day Saturday, May 3rd, which is just 10 days away. Dwight, we got Dwight Slimmons here, I believe from the E-Town area, the spring blue skies out there. And with all the rain, I'm fighting the ants. That is a good point there that you brought up there, Beverly Hagist, fighting the ants. So I don't know what is going on, because you think so this is why this theory never works. We think if we have a hardy winter, you get a lot of below freezing temperatures down near zero, then it'll kill off the bugs. It certainly does not happen. Those bugs tuck away. And the wasps are in my mailbox, they're in my garage, they're in the barn, so I had to get some wasp spray for that. And the big carpenter ants, we found, I don't know, maybe 8 foot by 8 foot area of carpenter ants. Had to spray those guys. Got to keep them away from the house. They can destroy some of the wood inside your house if you're not careful. And then just the bugs in general. There's already a lot of mosquitoes across the area. I'm guessing because of the moisture and the rain, as Beverly was saying, that just an explosion of critters out there. And maybe we're just not used to it, or I'm not used to it because we're coming off of wintertime, but I just don't remember such a buggy start to springtime. And then when I was mowing the other day, there was all these tiny little black looking flies. I don't even know what kind of bug that was, but they were like in just swarms. So good point there, Beverly, because yeah, you are right. It is a little bit buggy out there. So yeah, here's a look at the pollen levels. Very, very high levels. Off the charts right now because of oak, maple, sycamore. Might make you sneeze a little bit out there. And just some Derby facts we'll be sharing with you. It can be kind of extreme for Derby and Oaks. The hottest 94 back in 1949, the coldest 38 back in 1894. And this is the 101st running of Oaks. The wettest was about 1.5 inches back in 1961. So some old records for Oaks. We don't want to set any records either way, because that would be either hot or cold or wet. And about half of the Oaks days have had rain at some point in time during the day. And for again 94, coldest 36. There was a sleet report in 1989. The wettest was 7 years ago. We had over 3 inches of rainfall. And again, about half the days have rain at some point in time. So right now, again, this is just an educated guess, calling for some 70s for Thurby and Oaks. Put in a shower chance there because the weather pattern, again, looks a little bit unsettled. And then it looks like we just have a jet stream that's kind of near us and has some disturbances nearby that could give us some periodic rain chances there for Thurby and Oaks. And then into Derby Day itself, looking at probably 60s at this point, and so far so good as far as the dry area. Dwight, apologize there. I thought you were from the E-Town area, from the West Louisville area. Thanks for the clarification there. Thanks for watching as well. Good morning to Dwight. All right, so that is all of the Derby stuff there, and I want to go ahead and bring up some of the current conditions. And again, thanks for the comments and suggestions, and just for being part of the conversation on this Wednesday morning. So if you want to play along, you can head to extolmag.com. That is extolmag.com/weather. And that's where you'll find I'll go ahead and bring this up full screen. Interactive radar, you can see me with the cursor there. You can just click on that and bring it up full screen. You've got current conditions, and then you've got a short-term 3-day forecast there. We've got our live stream up in the top left. 7-day forecast, the all-important 7-day forecast. And then the weather story that I put together that just goes into some more details on the weather ahead with some weather maps there. You get to severe weather outlook, which as we bring that up, it is no severe weather outlook for us for today. That risk of severe weather is out to our west over parts of Kansas, Oklahoma, and into Texas as that Great Plains severe weather season starting to ramp up. Any storm reports you'll find there. If you're curious about drought conditions, our area not obviously concerned about drought after what has been a very wet April so far. But if you click on that, there you can see the haves and have-nots as far as rainfall. So they actually have had a dry season down in Florida. They're reaching extreme drought status in South Florida, and then extreme drought South Texas and into Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, Utah, and parts of the plains also have been missing out on the rainfall. So just kind of interesting to look at the drought conditions so far, very early in the growing season. And bring this up full screen here. Here's a look at the interactive radar. Again, just click and move. Very easy to use for you. Temperature starting to move into the 60s, and we're off to the races as far as temperatures today, as it's going to be a warm one. Again, about 10 above normal as we head to the low 80s with sunshine. And moving out the view, we are all on the warm side of things here over the Ohio Valley. And it looks like any active weather staying off to our south and to the north. You've got 70s already along the Gulf Coast. Down there in Florida, 77, around Gainesville, New Orleans, 78, and parts of the swampy areas of Louisiana already up to 80 degrees. So some storms there. It looks like in Oklahoma, Texas, and then also off to the north around Chicago. But we've got high pressure over our area. That's going to keep us nice and dry. The cold, chilly weather is up in the northwest in the plains. Good thing we don't have that, or we've had enough of that. 31 there, central Montana, so below freezing there. That's going to set up a stationary front to the north, so it's going to be chilly north, and it's going to be warmer to the south. And so that stationary front up around Chicago, it's going to be close enough on Friday that it will give us a chance for some showers and thunderstorms, especially on Friday. So that is a look at the current conditions here on Extol Weather, and that's extolmag.com/weather. You can bring up the NDOT cameras and the traffic conditions. This just says there is a traffic hazard on 265. I'm not sure what that hazard actually is. And so this is obviously very simple to use website if you're going to be maybe heading out to go to run some errands. the roads will turn from green to yellow to orange to red if there are any traffic problems out there. You just pop up a camera, you click on the camera, and that is what stops and starts it. And you can see the really dozens of cameras that NDOT has put out, not only around our region, but up around Indianapolis. If you see any issues, you can just pop on those cameras wherever you are. So this is here in Austin, Indiana, exit 34 at State Road 256, which just shows a lot of blue skies and a lot of green as well. So looking beautiful throughout southern Indiana. Looks like so far so good as far as the traffic conditions across the area. There are some weather stations as well that you can pop up in some areas that'll show the road temperatures. That's especially important in the winter time. Surface temperature 73, obviously we don't care about that now, but if the road temperatures were around 32, 31 or below freezing and we had wintry precipitation, then we'd want to pop up and look at the road surface temperatures. Air temperature there at 66 at Corden, exit 105.5. All right, there is the NDOT stuff there. So a lot of different tools. Again, if you want to suggest something that we add to the website, feel free to let us know in the comments and we can do that as well. Just looking at some of the comments, we've got Vicky saying, could be flying ants. They look a lot like termites. And that probably is a good guess because I did see a lot of ants nearby there. And we've got Angela saying, I'll take that for Derby and Oaks. Looks nice. Yeah, so far so good. We'll kind of cross our fingers at this point. Checking in with Steve Gibbons from Brandenburg, Kentucky. Thanks for watching here. And Dwight, I'm not sure what you're asking there, but what does blue skies mean? Blue skies just means clear sky. No clouds in the sky, just a nice day to enjoy. All right, there's the current conditions. We'll go ahead and bring back, not bring back up, but we'll bring up the weather graphic system here. And I'll go ahead and go full screen with that. Click off the comment there, and we are looking at all clear skies overhead. They're just a little thin layer of some cirrus moving off towards Richmond, Kentucky. So things are beautiful around the area. Again, as we look at the high definition radar, active weather up around Chicago. That's, again, setting up a stationary front. And tomorrow we will start to see just as high pressure over us now. Let me bring up the illustration here. So we've got area of high pressure. High pressure is sinking air. So when that air is sinking with high pressure is heavier air, it clears out the sky. Very, very simple stuff in weather. Low pressure, low, it means lighter air. It's rising. When it rises, it cools and condenses and creates clouds, part of the water cycle. And so you've got lower pressure out this way, creating some rain, lower pressure out this way. Currently over us, we have high pressure. Usually a big blue H on weather maps. All right, so that area of high pressure is going to start to scoot to the east. So what that does is starts to allow the air to become a little more buoyant, lightweight, and some of these showers that we see down south right now will likely start to lift to the north for tomorrow afternoon. And that's what we'll see when we look at the radar data. The lines of equal air pressure, by the way, are still pretty far apart. So that means light winds for today coming in from the southeast at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. If you're wondering where it would be windy, oops, let me get off the illustration here. Let me back up our view. Anywhere where you find these lines of equal air pressure very tight together, that's where it's going to be pretty windy. And I'm guessing up in Wyoming, it's a bit windy right now. But we have some pretty quiet conditions over our area overall. Now, let's go ahead and dig into the weather model data. I'm going to bring up first I kind of like the way the WRF model was looking, the WRF, the weather research model. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that one up. Right now, I'll start with the NAM 3 kilometer. These are high resolution weather models that I'm talking about for now. And we've got a quick comment here from Carolyn Tash. Good morning. Thanks for watching here this morning. So this is weather model data. So it is mimicking where the rain is very well. Again, we're up around Chicago. What we had earlier was the radar and satellite. That was the real look at rain. So the weather models, the mathematical equations, that is amazing. Picking up very well on where the rain is now. So as we jump ahead, I'm going to jump through this afternoon as we stay dry across our area. If there were a shower to pop up, it would be down here around the Kentucky and Tennessee state line. But we stay all dry around here. I'm going to push this forward to see if we can get into tomorrow. We're at about 10 a.m. here. Just a second for this to load up. 10 o'clock tomorrow morning is where we're at. So we're starting to see that chance of some showers creeping up from the south. So this is at 10 a.m. tomorrow. You can see basically along and south of the Bluegrass and Western Kentucky parkways, starting to see that activity that's down farther south over Alabama right now move up into Kentucky tomorrow. All right, moving ahead here, we'll go to 1 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. And there we start to see some of that activity moving a little farther north, starting to creep over the Ohio River. And this here is at 1 p.m. Now, no severe weather with this. We might see a couple of those cumulonimbus clouds grow big enough to produce a lightning strike. Typically, you need that cloud to grow about 25,000 feet to get a charge separation between liquid and some ice crystals, and then you start to get the charge big enough to create electricity. But no severe weather with this, and notice it's pretty spotty too. I've only put like a 30% chance of rain tomorrow. There you see it is hit or miss, splash and dash. So it's not going to be widespread, not going to be a washout. This is at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So there'll be a lot of areas that probably just stay dry. And there you can see the nature of that, just kind of spotty around the area. This is at 3 o'clock tomorrow. And they're probably going to be pretty slow moving as the atmosphere is a little bit lazy right now. So, you know, would we get the after-school ball game in tomorrow? The way that looks right there at 5 p.m., we're pretty good, but I still can't rule out that isolated shower. Now, that is the NAM 3 kilometer. This is the HRRR, the HRRR, the high-resolution rapid refresh weather model at the same time tomorrow. Let me go back a little bit. I'm going to put this to 2 p.m. And there you can see, very similar, hit or miss activity, about 30% chance of that. So that is tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m. It would be impossible, like, to say this is exactly where this shower is going to be, this is where this one's going to be with the weather model data. It just gives you an idea that they're going to be scattered about. Now I'm going to have to go into the longer range weather model to get to Friday. So we'll switch this over to the GFS weather model. And again, after all this weather model talk, we will get back to a recap of the forecast here for you. As we're coming up to 10:30, and I'll take a swig of the water here. By the way, I'll give a shout out to my horrible Cardinals baseball. Sorry, Reds fans, and my father-in-law, Scott, who's a big Reds fan as well. I like the Reds, though. I'm a fan of the Central Division. Hey, Brian. Thanks for tuning in here this morning. I got to meet Brian about a month ago. Thanks for popping in here. All right, we're going to jump ahead to Friday. Let's go to Friday morning. Friday looks like it's going to be our wettest day. Friday is the 25th. We'll start this off at 5 a.m. Friday morning. We'll back up the view here. And again, with the longer range weather model data, it starts to look a little bit more blobby because it's not high resolution. But we get the picture here. So this is the GFS weather model at 8 a.m. And let me fix the screen here just a little bit. And as we go into later in the morning, Friday, there you can see some scattered showers across the area. I mean, some of the data was hinting that Friday morning would be a little drier, then the rain chances ramp up in the afternoon, and then I think you'll have a last batch of some heavier rain potential Friday night. Again, not expecting severe weather with this. This should be sort of garden variety stuff. This is at 2 p.m. on Friday, that view right there. Clicking ahead, this is at 5 p.m. So notice there are some breaks between the yellow and the reds. So I don't think Friday will be a total washout, but I would definitely plan a pretty decent chance we'll probably get some ball games canceled Friday. And just plan on some rain. But if you put down the grass seed, you put down the fertilizer, it might be a good time to do that with the light winds today. Typically, you don't want to put down that weed and feed on a windy day where it just blows away. So pretty calm out there today. A couple showers tomorrow. And then Friday, a decent soaking rain where maybe that'll help out the grass seed, which I had to put down recently. Need to get more grass seed. So this is going into Friday night, and here's the good news for our Saturday. Saturday morning, it looks like that system is fizzling out off to the southeast. Hey, Vicky, I know those folks, Justin Garlow, and he was coach of the 8U Sluggers that my daughter was on with Kennedy, your granddaughter, yeah, up there in Salem, Indiana. Travel ball of whatever kind, whether it's softball, baseball, tennis, lacrosse, field hockey, basketball. You get to know so many people around the area. So one of the good things of travel ball sports. So that's this weekend. We can go ahead and jump ahead to next week if we want to take a look at Derby week. But just take it as a grain of salt because there's a good chance the weather models don't do very good that far out. I'm going to go to, this would be 4/29, which would be next Tuesday at 5 p.m. We're looking warm here. Temperatures are likely going to be at least 10 degrees above normal. We are definitely on the warm side of things around the region next Tuesday. So very good looking weather next week. You can see all these 80s, even up into our area next Tuesday. If you're wondering about chilly weather, still going to be up to the north and northwest. Again, this is Tuesday next week. You start to see summertime-like weather winning out more and more as we get deeper through springtime. Let me bring back up the reflectivity. Now, when I say reflectivity, that's just kind of like your future radar. All right, so that's our Tuesday afternoon. I'm going to call that dry, but notice some active weather out west. Starts to possibly slide our direction as we head into wind. So this is Wednesday morning. That's, I guess, the 5:02 day, Wednesday, next week. This is April the 30th. Getting deeper into Derby week. So starting to see just a weather pattern that's becoming more unsettled. Hopefully not too unsettled, just some rain every now and again. Every year it seems like we're going to need to grab the ponchos at some point. And if you're following along here, this is May 1st. So this would be Thurby, and this is 11 o'clock. This is in the morning. This is into the afternoon, Thurby. So it looks like the possibility of rain chances around the area. Instead of high pressure, we've got more low pressure, which means unsettled weather pattern for us next week. Going into May 2nd, which would be Oaks. This is Oaks morning. Just looks like light stuff, which would not be a big deal. And then the Euro, the GFS, and the Canadian weather model. This is going into Derby Day, May 3rd. We're close enough that the GFS weather model can go out that far. This is Derby Day. This is showing all clear conditions. So I will just cross our fingers with that and cross our fingers to dodge some of the rain chances that have been popping up next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But we know how to deal with that. It happens every year. Let me go ahead and back up our view to, I'm going to go back to tomorrow and Friday. So the 24th. And we're just going to look at the convective available potential energy. That's if storms get going, how much energy do they have to become severe? Now, the air does become a bit unsettled, especially in Kentucky. This shows about 1,000 joules per kilogram. That's a measure of just the energy. So that is enough to get some thunderstorms. However, we don't have wind shear. You really want some strong winds and then the unstable air. We've got some unstable air. We don't have much to kick these things up and keep them strong. So we don't have all the ingredients, but enough that we might get a few thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon to bubble up. You can see late in the day, the unstable air increases to its maximum amount of about 1,600 joules per kilogram. So definitely enough to bubble up some of those towering cumulus clouds. Cumulonimbus would mean some rain is in those clouds. All right, into Friday, our highest chance of more widespread rain across the area. The unstable air is a lot more off to our southwest. So that's some big time unstable air that direction. Sometimes if you're a weather enthusiast, maybe you want to compare, let me clear out the weather model data, those ingredients to what the Storm Prediction Center is saying. The Storm Prediction Center is a division of the National Weather Service that looks across the United States to see where severe weather might happen. So on the day one risk, that is today, bring that up full screen, this risk of severe storms, we have no risk. And then there's a chance of level 1 and 2 out again in Kansas, Oklahoma, and into Texas. We go to day 2, severe weather risk from the Storm Prediction Center. It is very low across the United States. Only level 1 out over the western plains. So that would be tomorrow's risk, Thursday, and into Friday with this stationary front. Again, not a lot of ingredients. Where the air was a little more unstable southwest, just level 1. So always good when we have a thunderstorm chance just to, settle things down because we came off a very active early April. So no need to hype this up. This is just, again, garden variety showers and thunderstorms moving through. Nothing for day 4, and that's it. So low to no with the severe weather threats, with our chances of a few pop-up showers and thunderstorms tomorrow, and then a much higher chance of some scattered showers and thunderstorms for our Friday. Climate Prediction Center, 6 to 10 day outlook above normal temperatures over our region and really the eastern half of the United States. And then as we put up the 8 to 14 day, this just shows that the confidence level goes down, but still chances of above normal temperatures there through the next 2 weeks overall. And a look at current conditions. And again, there you can see things are just kind of divided across the nation. Let me take that off. I think we've got the telestration on. There's the temperatures that popped up. So all this area, basically above normal temperatures. Almost the southeastern half of the United States. Stationary front setting up here. So that's where it's going to be the wettest over the next few days. And then still winter-like weather up to the northwest, or they're below freezing up in Montana. And Lillian Lasley, thanks for the support. Hi, Ben, you're doing an awesome job. Thank you very much. So, all right, there's the digging into the weather model portion, and then we're going to recap that forecast. And then we'll wrap up our Ben at 10 today. All right, so I'm going to remove that, add this. Again, just some beautiful sunsets across the area and sunrises today. And we'll move on past these pictures to the forecast. So 82 is that forecast for today. Right now we are up to 1040 on this wonderful Wednesday morning, April 23rd. So sunny and warm out there, all sunshine pretty much. Sunset at 8:27. Should be a very nice sunset out there if you just want to kick it on the back porch or the front deck. It's going to be really nice for you. Maybe grab dinner outside on the patio. 82 at 4, 78 at 6 p.m. into your evening forecast here, 74 at 8, and dry southeast wind at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. And mostly clear sky tonight, low of around 60 degrees. And so a little bit above average with our low temperatures tonight, just a very light breeze. And the 7-day forecast, 30% chance of that pop-up shower or storm tomorrow afternoon. So not a big chance of rain. And then we do have that bigger chance of rain with scattered showers and thunderstorms expected for Friday. High of 76, a little cooler with the clouds around, but we're still on the mild side of that front. Front moves off to the south, kind of washes out south of us. Saturday we dry out early, 72, that high temperature down to 52 Saturday night, 74 on Sunday. Looking good for the rest of the weekend there. And mostly dry as we head into our Derby week, Monday, Tuesday at 82 and 84. And then as we saw on the long-range weather model data with the GFS, that next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so a lot of folks heading out to Churchill Downs, starting to increase that chance of some showers and thunderstorms. And this is, again, early guess. This is going to be highly subject to change, but I got a rain chance for Thurby, 70s, Oaks rain chance, and 70s. And then Derby Day right now looking dry so far with all the weather models with a high up to 68 degrees. All right, not seeing any other comments, just looking over them in case I missed any. Thanks for watching here on Ben at 10, whether you were watching on my Facebook page or Extol Weather or on Extol Media on YouTube. Give Extol Media on YouTube. You can go there, search it, and just hit subscribe. Follow there. You'll get those videos popping up. And then I set that up for my mom and my grandma because they were watching on a little tablet. It's kind of harder to see some of that weather model data on the smaller devices. But on YouTube, of course, you can just bring it up full screen. Stay tuned. We're working on an app that we'll release for you. So lots of ways to find our live stream, and also at extolmag.com /weather is where you can also find that. Well, once again, thanks to our partners here at Extol Media, NWSB, Libs Paving Company. I know they've had, they're hiring. If you want to go to their website, I believe they have some openings there. And then Lions Roofing, great group of people there to help you out if you've had some recent issues or some damage to your roof from the hail or the wind that we recently had. Give them a shout there at Lions Roofing, local Southern Indiana roofing company. And I'm looking forward to Brad Weddington of Weddington Custom Homes. He'll be having some segments a couple of times a month, and that is a way for you to interact as well. If you have any questions around the home, could be gutters, could be trim, could be air coming in, HVAC, roofing, whatever it might be, paint. You can, or even around the yard. He knows just about everything. So Brad at Weddington, Brad the Builder, Weddington Custom Homes. We'll be looking forward to those segments, likely starting next week, where he'll be live on site, probably at one of his home sites where he'll be building. Looks like we might have one last comment here. Oh, Vicky, that was crazy last message. We'll end with Vicky, I think, here with doing a wonderful job. Have a great day. I hope you guys have a great day as well. Thanks for tuning in for Ben at 10 on this Wednesday, April the 23rd. Enjoy that warm sunshine out there.